10-year pregnant queen gives birth suddenly, but was told that 4 leeches were born. The queen who got the news passed out. And the real prince, but was taken out of the palace by the midwife in the rain overnight, ready to take to the wild, dig a pit and bury it alive. The midwife just put the baby in the pit. A sudden light came from the depths of the sky. After that, a thunderstorm struck directly. The midwife mistakenly thought the god was angry, so fearful, had to put 4 children on the bamboo raft, let it go down the river. I hope that the child can meet a kind-hearted person for adoption, to alleviate your sins. What the midwife didn't know was, everything he did was watched by the eagle dog sent by the princess. The 2 came out directly from the dark with knives. A knife ended the midwife, and the prince who went down the river. Finally, after wandering thousands of miles, found by a pair of old scavengers, 2 old men without children, getting ready to take the child home. Unexpectedly, the news leaked out so quickly. The spy sent by the princess came to the hut. After a careful trial, it was confirmed that the identities of the 4 were the queen's. I secretly reported the news to the princess. The next day, while the old couple are not at home, the princess came to the manor with a box of fruits. After carefully observing the child, receive a special fruit bowl from the servant. Then use rhetoric to trick children into eating fruit. Gluttonous children pick up fruit and put it in their mouths. How do they know the consequences of eating these fruits? Sure enough, after the child eats the fruit, one by one fell. Watching the princes who died of poison, the queen also showed a satisfied smile. But man is not as good as God. After the 2 old couples came home, child killed by poison found. Heartbroken, sad, crying, but in line with the principle of burying the ground for safety. So I dug 4 pits on the hillside of my house, ready to bury the child on the hillside. Just when the child was buried in the ground, there are squirming in the pit, and also accompanied by a dazzling golden light, like something is about to break out of the ground. Sure enough, in an instant, small trees half a meter high. With the golden light breaking out of the ground, the 4 little trees are like children being reborn, standing on the graves of the 4 children. But the good times don't last long. Small tree on grave. It quickly caught the attention of the princess spy, after discovering that the prince may be resurrected. So the princess sent 3 dwarves, hand-holding axe ready to cut down small tree. Prepare to use this to block the rebirth of the 4 children. Unexpectedly, the axe fell on the small tree. The little tree didn't move, like chopping on a steel plate. Several people slashed for a long time but could not shake the small tree. So I can only go back to the palace to ask the princess for help. When the princess learned of the situation, she immediately asked the archmage for help. The archmage decided to attack after learning about the situation. So the 3 dwarfs set fire to the small tree directly. Just when they thought the plan was a success, the burnt tree reappeared in front of us. Several people were shocked. Run back to the palace. The high priest, who learned the result, immediately dispatched the army to directly take turns to chop down the small trees. But no matter how many times you get hurt, the little tree has been unscathed. In order to be able to completely solve the small tree, the high priest went straight to the horse. The couple was tied up and burned. Hope to get from them. Learn how to destroy small trees. And at this moment, the god in the sky suddenly noticed the situation. Hold the artifact directly in your hand, waving in the direction of the 2 of them. Suddenly the sky changed color. The child born in October of pregnancy is not human, but a black leech. Fainted queen wakes up to see leeches in box. Can't believe it's me. A child born in 3 days and 3 nights. Immediately dragging his weak body, kneeling in front of the queen mother to explain. Something strange. There must be a slut framed. But where will the queen mother listen to this? Directly order someone to put the queen into the dungeon, waiting for the emperor. The next day, I came to the dungeon to visit the queen of the queen. When asking the truth about the matter, the queen secretly appeared behind her. Slowly release your palm. Blowing a sigh of relief at the emperor. The emperor stood up from the ground in an instant, staring fiercely at the queen, and cast the queen into slavery, to make her a slave, no longer able to enjoy the glory. The next day, the queen was sent to work in the hardest labor workshop. More than just fetching water and chopping firewood every day, and endure the persecution of all kinds of villains, to experience the feeling of being a man. The little people yelled at the queen when they disagreed. Look at these 5 big and 3 thick figures. The queen knew she was defeated and could only cry silently. I thought that swallowing my voice could bring peace. Unexpectedly, a few people are getting more and more excessive. After half a month, he pulled the queen's hair directly, knocked her to the ground. When a few people go up, they are punching and kicking. I feel like I'm not satisfied after I'm out of breath. Hit the queen directly, ready to kick it out of the janitorial. The queen begged at the door. A few people just let her start again, but in order to set rules for the queen, the two caught the queen's hands, pressed directly on the table, another person holding a cane. A blow to the queen's back, laugh out loud from time to time. Even so, it can't eliminate the hostility in the hearts of several people. Occasionally use the guy in the hand, beating the queen's wounded back. The queen also understands at this time. All this is actually the order of the vicious queen. At this time, slowly dormant looking for opportunities. Sure enough, 3 months later, the emperor pays off. The queen who is making dim sum by the river today. Suddenly I saw the emperor who was traveling with his concubine, and when the emperor stood on the bow and looked out, suddenly slip. The whole person fell into the lake. The queen is shocked. Immediately plunge into the water. Just when the emperor was about to suffocate, the queen finally swims to the king, but at this time, she was powerless to save the emperor. The two are about to faint after being drowning for too long. Just then a huge lotus rose on the lake. Directly protect the dying two people in the lotus. In the lotus, the queen